It's cold in here. Still is. Always has been. Okay, and well, no. It's in the summertime. It gets hot here. Um. Hello, everybody. Oh, I don't think I've said it loud enough. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Random Fandom. I'm your host, RavenWood, and welcome back to RavenWood Reads. Yes, hello. This is loud. I hope this is loud. Welcome back to The Artificer. Reading of the Artificer. Yay. Written by Raymond and Neil. This is part 2, chapter 2, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, part 2, chapter 2. I'm yelling through this. I'm not yelling. I'm just talking in this cone. Hope you can hear me. Hello. Hold on. Testing. Hello. No, okay, this is fine. Let me take a look at the okay, it says excellent concurrent videos. No. All right. Hello. Now that's out of the way. First things first. I've got a silver platter. Ow! Did not mean to do that. I've got a Dominic's little thing here. Starship that he hasn't yet to complete on screen. I'm going to put the silver platter over here. Here's in Dominic's hat. I'm going to put all the Legos over here into his hat. And then put the hat upside down into the trash can. Just kidding. No. So that way, when he does get back to the, I almost threw that into the abyss instead of into his hat. That's why when he does get back to it, right? That's why when he gets back to it, it'd be like pulling the Legos out from his hat. It'd be like magic. Just magic. Okay, it'd be miraculous. It'd be a wonderful. It'd be like show business. There's nothing on the floor, right? Okay, good. I'm hoping I'm not missing a single thing. That would suck. Because he's been working on this for about 3-4 live streams ago? Not ago. 3 to 4 live streams. And then it has just stopped. Thankfully, I can see this green piece. All right. Picking up these pieces are forever. It's like picking up pieces of I don't know. I don't have an analogy at the moment. Just picking up pieces. I was going to have like a funny piece by piece analogy or joke or something, some sort of quip. I dropped it. Okay, where did it? Okay, found it. Okay, good. Thank goodness. And if I did lose or drop a piece and I did not see it, I will search this house top to bottom for it, just so we can continue this little thing. But the reason why I'm doing this, putting a bunch of Legos into this tiny hat, well, not tiny, this hat, this big hat. So could have just also put it just on the tray, tray, because I just need elbow room here. Okay, not elbow room. I just need more room. I need to put this right here. This here. Put this here. Put this here. Be on my phone for a minute. Let me just. Oh, no, wrong thing. Wrong device. Okay. I have. Okay. Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Well, that's. Oh, I also forgot about these, but they're out of the way. I also need to throw that trash away. But all right. Okay. So pizza. For tonight's food is pizza. Pizza time. Watch as I slowly lose of what viewership I had just because I'm eating pineapple pizza. I do not call it Hawaiian pizza, okay? People need to stop calling it Hawaiian pizza. There's still this a lot of other Hawaiian stuff that's not actually Hawaiian, unless it's actually made in Hawaii, done by Hawaiians. Like their actual, like, if they can actually make a pizza that represents their state, like Georgia, if each state could make a pizza that represents them, then there we go. We've made world peace and hunger. Okay, maybe not the planet. Hold on, let me fix my hair. There we go. That's okay. Hold on. There we go. Just get out of my eyes. That's all I ask for. There, that's as far as out of my eyes as it can go. Okay, so fluffy scarf, check. Coca-Cola, check. Red coat, check. And we start reading, okay? Last time on the Artificer, he killed God. Just kidding, no. No, last time on the Artificer, it's first time reading chapter 2. So I'm completely going in here blind, okay? Last time on the Artificer. Oh yeah, I will get a haircut, but just not now, apparently. Last time on the Artificer, he died. The main character of the story died. The end. And then we stopped reading. There's no point in reading if the main character died. But he lived. Okay, we'll continue reading. So anyways, so he dies, but lives because, well, like he was playing a video game, then dies in his chair. Okay, I'm saying that phrase or that sentence. Anyways, so he dies, and then where was I going with this? He dies. He was playing a video game as he dies. He looks at his feet. He's like, "Oh no, my feet! They have socks on. my mouth, I'm dry. I can't. My mouth is dry. I need something to drink, and my hand, it's glowing green. I'm the Hulk." No, I know. Okay, no, and the person next to me is this God. Okay, and so God's like, "Okay, hey, you died, but I made sure you get a second chance." Okay, this is not actual God. This is not the Christian God. This is just God, like just a God, or so some sort of like being that made sure that he lived. Some sort of omnipresent, unlimited power person made sure that he lived, and then put him. Essentially isekai'd him on a different planet. Instead of reincarnating him to see what he would do again, no, he put him on a completely different planet with different beings that look human enough, and then gave him a magical arm that said basically, "Hey, you're now. What if Emiya from Shiro Emiya from Fate, Stay Night, uh, was in Minecraft, but you can only activate it via unlock his powers via by arm, green glowing arm. This arm in particular." And it's your left arm. And you so he goes out into adventure and almost dies again. Almost gets killed by villagers or farmers in this case, and who are like, "We are farmers." Bum, bum. They start shooting him with crossbows, or at least one of them does. And then so he's like, "Oops, I broke your door. Well, I'm gonna run away now. Skedaddle." And so he's in the woods. So he starts Minecrafting again with his hand. Minus the mining. He's just crafting. Technically. I mean, he's just gathering stuff and then just crafting the stuff with the material that he picks up. It's kind of just simple. Simple magic, really. Basically, it's like picking up one thing and then picking up another thing, and now you got a pizza cone. Not really. You need to have basic. So, like, he picks up his sock, his dirty sock, and I think what happens that either remakes it, and I'm not gonna reread it. That'll take time. He like makes another sock or something like that. He takes some wood. No, yeah, that's basically what he had a sock, and then I think he had picked up a block of wood, and then it made it into cogs. I'm not certain. I can't remember. I'm just doing this based off of memory. So I mean, I've read the chapter twice, so like, oh, the smaller details don't need to be important. So like, yeah, he makes new socks, he makes shoes, and some poison stew. Eats the poison stew. Magic Hand does not tell him what the poison stew. That the poison stew was poisoned, poisonous or whatever. By picking up like I think mushrooms or something. Um, and then the farmer, one of the farmers find one of the farmers that he um, scared. One of the farmers finds him. And he's like, brother, how are you this dumb to run away from me, but not run far enough away from me? Also, he made like a translator, like a pin, like some sort of weird like pin or something like that. That translates for him. I'm assuming that's kind of also the god that he met. Don't pick up food and eat it. I do it because I'm stupid. Anyways. Where was I going with this stick? Oh yeah, so he picks up like a translator. Okay, no, he puts it into his pins it into his shirt. So I guess we won't know the consequences if he loses it or not. Maybe he might lose it. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll never lose it, or maybe he'll make multiple of the translators and just start selling them, making a profit. Makes a profit off a universal translator. Maybe. Who knows? So the farmer takes him back to his home after he apologizes. He's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'll do whatever you want. I'll help you fix the door." And he manages to fix the lock. Lucky guy. And so chapter 2 is going to be called Earned, Not Owed. So yeah, basically it's just him just playing around with magic. I don't know why I'm reading this. I was reading to the underscore. Okay, but now I was also making sure there was no notifications on my phone. There is none. I thank goodness. Anyways, the Artifcer, part 2, chapter 2, whatever. 2 something. Chapter 2, Earned, Not Owed. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna just read this silently to myself, and then just read it out loud to you after several chapters. I'm done with in your face. Just kidding. Don't worry. I'll read it out. Let's see. What time is it? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So we're 19 minutes into. Oh, that's right. It started a bit early. Okay. We're not being told on the clock at the time there, so I started a bit early into the hour. Of all the things to forget from brain damage. Oh yeah, that's right. When he died, his memory of like his past was apparently so insignificant. Like he had done nothing with his life except for maybe school and whatever. Basically, 90% of his life was just stand in front of a screen, maybe work at a restaurant, get paid because his parents told him, do it, get out of the house, right? And so he's like, if I do whatever. And then he just dies in front of the screen. And then there's like no real memory of his parents, any friends he might have had, or any other family he may had known about or cherished memories with. He's basically the ultimate blank slate. Like to almost, well, not a perfect blank slate, because he still knows that he was on a video, he was still playing a video game and whatnot, and that he probably has some of his basic memories of when he was alive. So there is that. So like there's like basic memories of what his life was, but other than faces, names of faces, and whatever, right? All that, including his name, gone, just completely gone. Birth certificate, death certificate, any school certificate, driver's license, Peabody and Sherman certificate, it's anything, Ruby Combat Evolved certificate, and all that just gone. Okay, that's it. Like basically, the only memories he had was like what he did in a video game, and the only person's name that he remembers or rather, I wouldn't say he doesn't. No. Before he lost his memory, he knew about a guy named Kai, which I'm hoping you don't name drop a person. Hold on. I'm going to start talking about chapter 1 here, full length right here. Okay, you don't name drop a guy named Kai. That damn Kai, if they're not important. Okay, you don't name drop someone. Especially before the memory wipe, right? You don't name drop someone. Unless it's important. What I like about Overlord, I have not read the light novels, and I'm not certain if more of the animes come out or not, but I have seen a whole lot of it, and he name dropped some of his friends, but they're important, and I have a feeling that like it leaves you with that feeling that you either meet that person or someone else that also knows that person. Okay, this is exactly the message I was waiting for. Not that I was hoping to wait for, but this is exactly the message I was waiting for. Okay. I just gotta do something real quick, but I'm gonna get the last few like thoughts about about that. This tangent, right? And I barely started reading the first paragraph, but that's like what drew my attention was that you don't like his memory is wiped, but before his memory was wiped, there was at least a name dropped of a guy that he particularly just did not like. And that was Kai. Or at least, no. See, these are the thoughts that he had. No, if I'm remembering time, these are the thoughts that he had. I'm not certain as he was dying. No, I don't. No, I don't think it was memory wipe. I think it because the way it's described here is that these are his thoughts. Probably as he was dying. So that's my thinking here. This is my line of thinking. I'm not 100% certain, but like it feels like that's what the first few paragraphs were like. Because I feel like I'm not certain if it's a memory wipe after he died. But like the thing is, those were his thoughts as he was dying. His final thoughts were not liking Kai, describing the MO that he was playing the MO, and he was about to craft a few. He was currently in the moment of crafting a few potions, but then he sees that he's not crafting them, and he's like, or like he's reaching for to move the mouse. So he does this hand motion, right? Or to move the mouse, right? He does this hand motion, right? Not a specific hand motion. It could be just like that. Anyways, so he's like playing the game, clicking, typing the keyboard. I'm assuming that the guy is a keyboard warrior, or he's playing on Steam or something. Playing this game on the computer and not the console. Because I think if I remember correctly, no, let me go back. I will reread some bits. Pressing keys. Okay, so yeah, you don't say keys when it with a controller. With the Xbox controller, they're just buttons. So yeah, let me pause that for there because I gotta do something real quick. Where was I getting? Okay, so like, I want to figure this out. Is it a complete memory loss of like everything prior to when we died, right? Or not? I want to say complete memory, right? Loss. It did say that he like remembers some vague things, but not the faces or names or anything like that. But like that is like legit right when he dies, and so at least I guess like as he was playing the game, and prior to the moments when he died, he mentioned Kai. So typically, a show or anything doesn't like typically name drop a person if you're not going to see that person again, unless it's just there to. Here's the unless part. Unless, and unfortunately, it's just a name drop of a person to like have some sort of relation to like the audience of like oh hey, there's one guy named Mark or something, and he always appliers all over the place. Yeah, we don't talk about that Mark. Oh, we don't talk about that Matt who pats everything. It could be that. But I'm going to hold on to the idea that Kai also meets the same fate. Because what I like about izakais is that you have either people, a lot of people who you know and are friends with that come with you to the world, or you have a mixture of, or you have you and a bunch of like people you don't like in real life to come with you into this new world, or it's a mixture of both of people you know and don't know come or and like dislike, or a mixture of both come with you into this world or something like that. Sometimes this is one person, sometimes it's two people, sometimes this is 100 billion people, sometimes the entire planet, sometimes it's just you and there's no one else. There's that. But I also like the idea of like the person and then person who like also had a random person you kind of just don't, just don't want to deal with. Not that you're enemies, not that you're friends or whatever. You just this person just exists in my life, right? And then he too also has the same fate. That would be cool, and I hope to see that in the Artificer. I'm just saying it would be nice to like see that. And like, yeah, there are isekais where it's just one person, like the Wizard of Oz. Well, technically that's two people because the Wizard of Oz is also a person who was isekai'd into that world, or at least he's a traveler. At least it's confirmed that he's a traveler. And then there's that one movie where it confirms that he was isekai'd to the land of Oz. Weird as a backstory ever. But I'm gonna be right back. But I did not forget about your co-host. And the co-host fell off. Okay, so here's your co-hosting. And here's the co-host. Okay, so this will only take a few moments for me to complete. All right, I hope the co-host was distracting enough. I'll set him aside for right now. And he dies. There. Okay. Dang, my hair is just not wanting to cover. I do need a haircut. So, oh well. Okay, so where was I? Oh, yes. Okay, so, anyways, I went on to a little thing about Kai. No one likes Kai. Kai. He's just Kai. King Kai. Of all the things to forget from brain damage, your own name has to be in the near top of the list for the most disconcerting. For the most disconcerting. It never really registered how important something so simple could define so much of one's identity. He had one, but like the faces of family and friends, it just refused to crystallize. Okay. So technically he does remember Kai, but he always blamed Kai, except for Kai. Everything about Kai in MO, right? And screw Kai. So, like, I feel like he does remember Kai because, like, or at least maybe somewhere in here he does. Because it says here, where was I? The faces of his family and friends. Kai isn't a friend nor a family. So that was important. He just hates Kai. Or it doesn't say it hates Kai. Last moments of his life was blaming Kai and playing the MO and making potions. And then he dies. It just refused to crystallize, like it was the tip of his tongue and swiped right off. It had him with it had left him with some measure of panic as Tereth, the farmer that he met, led him back to the farm. By the time they arrived, he was almost thankful to start panicking over how he interrogate himself to Tereth and his fellow farmer. Nirf was a squat, stocky man, a head and a half shorter than himself, at least. That was measuring by human heads. While decidedly less noticeable than Tereth, with the dyed skin and the blackless eyes, Nirf was, I'm assuming that's how I pronounce it, Nirf, was still very alien to him. Alien. A bigger head, broad shoulders, thickened muscles that looped in ways that didn't ring true of the anatomy he was familiar with. Nirf may have moved like a human, and even superficially looked human. But everything in his brain told him that Nirf was not, in fact, a human. Now, what is this? Okay. It only started to register as the pair exited the tree line and drew near to where the man was working in the fields. And by then he had to school his face to prevent some kind of insulting expression from manifesting. I want some more pizza, please. Pizza. Pizza. Yum, 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 yum. Something. I have found last night's intruder of Hogan, introducing him in probably the least flattering way possible. Nerf took one look at his haggard appearance, combining meaty fingers through his oily black hair. Oh, 1 second. Here's something in the. Hold on 1 second. Okay, never mind. Okay, oily black beard. Not much, is he? He is lost, he says. The explanation was curt and lacked nuance, but I do. He needs help and a place to stay. He has agreed to help around the farm in exchange and fix the barn lock. Dark pointed eyes crawled over his body, doubt weighing them with every inch. He's chronic. He'll be working till he dies to make himself worth it. I don't know how to pronounce this in the right way. The slide, Southern? Is chronic. He'll be working till he dies to make himself worth it. How do you speak normal? The slide was unnecessary, and he jumped in to defend himself. I can fix it, he said. At least I think I can. And after that, I'll hold my own. I promise. It was a heavy promise to make, and his own doubt rolled around in his belly. If he couldn't live up to expectation, what would they do to him? How much weight did promises carry here? Neff twisted his lips and nodded. Good luck, cost a pretty. Good luck, cost. I can't say cost. Good luck, cost a pretty coin. I'm assuming that's how you. I'm assuming that's how the author wanted to sound. That's it. He wanted to make a snide remark, something along the lines of, "You won't need to spin a single coin." But he managed to swallow it. He may have already overpromised himself to these guys without knowing the full extent of his abilities. No point sinking himself deeper. So instead, what came out was, "Show me where it is." A look was shared between Tareth and Neff, a mixture of apprehension for sure. Intrigue was in there as well, but it was hard to tell what else given their alien features. Tareth was comically understated, and Neff was over-exaggerated. It was messing with his head a little bit. The farmers who led him to the barn he broke into last night. The small person-sized door, offset from the larger main doors, hanging inward without the lock. Cracking his knuckles to nerves and shooting the two nervous glance he approached. I approach you. Upon a quick examination, the wrought iron lock was a simple deadbolt with a latch at the bottom where the proper lock could be threaded to keep it in place. The problem was the thing. Well, not the problem. The thing was covered in rust and felt brittle in his hand. No wonder the deadbolt had snapped after being slammed into the door frame and shot with a crossbow bolt. He scolded at that, but bit his tongue. Tariff wouldn't have fired that shot if he hadn't been there in the first place. And he still technically bent the bolt himself, so it wasn't like he was blameless. This thing was rusted through, he noted. Probably would have broken sooner or later. Never. Still don't need to say that. You know? The thing was rusted through, he noted. Probably would have broken sooner or later. Nair leveled an uneasy eye his way. Aye, but who still broke it? Best be fixing it. It's just Celtic. Everyone that speaks is just Celtic. Okay, just 1 second. Need to get some drink. Huh. Let's see. Don't get your beard in a bunch. I said I'll do it. I said I'll do it, didn't I? His words came out on a languid side, empty of bite. Probably wasn't best to antagonize Nair, but the attitude was getting annoying. He hefted the broken halves and pressed them together with his right hand. Imagining the bolt complete and strong, his arm began to glow, projecting the image as it had everything else, a flash of green. Later, and a whole shiny new bolt was affixed to the door. Admiring his work, he stepped back, and almost fell onto his ass when his vision spun and his legs shattered under the weight of his body. It lasted only a hair's breadth of a second, but it was enough to get his pulse bounding and bring sweat into his palms. Rubbing at his eyes, his attention was only dragged back to the farmers by Tara's voice. Spellcast, tell you. For some reason, I have this accent whenever I read these lines. Spellcast. No, he replied, gripping his wrist. He winced, remembering the strange man's words, that most people wouldn't be kind towards the tattoo. He'd been careless. It's complicated. It's more like a gift. Well, it's not quite here. Well, it's something like I got one. Yeah, grumbled the voice like two sliding sheets of granite. I don't know how that sounds. Thing looks good. Thing looks good new. I hate this. Can we kill him? Thing looks good's new. And here I thought we have to make do with an open barn in the next few weeks. Well, I didn't mean to give you to the scare or break your door. Tara nodded. There was an airiness to the dark man's eyes. Intriguing. I was thinking of inviting you to stay out of pity, but that is quite a talent of yours. Thanks, I guess. How much can you do with that? He looked at his hand and tapped his fingers over the tinged lines. I've only really started experimenting with it, so I couldn't really say. I see. Nath, the dark man said, turning to his companion. Opposed to him remaining here as a farmhand, quite a few things we need repaired that are that we are unable to get to, after all. Nath's eyes closed, arms crossed. If this gift of his isn't what? Okay. If this gift of his is some sort of fluke and he keeps earning his keep, he'd be pretty useful to keep around, the dwarf agreed. What's dwarf again? What's dwarf? How do you pronounce in dwarf language? Or dwarf slang? What? Accent. Sorry, how do you pronounce a dwarf accent? Dwarf. Fuck. Sorry, apologize. Apology. I don't know how to speak dwarf. Do you start screen? Start screen. Get over here. It was a mistake to put it. Do you? Anyways, there you go. There's start screen. There's my coast. Yeah. And that was how he wound up becoming the farm's official handyman. Repairing the wheelbarrows, pitchforks, and torches, and just came out. And grab your torches and pitchforks. And grab. What did I say? What's that one meme, or not meme? That one clip of like SpongeBob, where they're like rioting and there's like a bunch of people selling the riot gear. Grab your here's a pitchfork for sale. Grab a pitchfork. Everyone needs a pitchfork for a riot. Grab a torch. Everyone needs a torch for a riot. Grab cotton candy, or was it? I forgot the third thing. I don't remember it. I remember it, but like I don't remember the entire gag. Repairing the wheelbarrows, pitchforks, the crossbow, the doors, the walls. It was surprisingly fun work, seeing how far he could press his ability. It was pretty damn nice to have a roof overhead with 2 square meals a day. Admittedly, the space he had to himself amounted to a cot in the corner of the farmhouse's main room. It gave him the lion's share of the space in the house, since Terra and Nath had their own smaller rooms, but the warmth from the central fire was fleeting when it diffused in such a large space. Even right to his neck, it invited an unpleasant chill. The meals, while warm, weren't always enough to account for how exhausted he was after using his ability. Some jobs are especially taxing, and it definitely scaled with the size and complexity. Repairing An entire thatch roof in the blink of an eye was cool, but blacking out almost a moment later was decidedly less so. All of it was better than nothing. However, he had worked about in his free time to improve the situation. He made curtains that could close in the fire. He made curtains that can close in the fireplace and keep the heat in, cleaning and upgrading the cooking tools to maximize how much food was made, limiting the use of his power to a reasonable amount per day to prevent passing out. None of it was perfect. He'd almost set the house on fire with the curtain placement. Of course, it wasn't perfect. But he was getting somewhere livable. Outside of that, most of the time was spent talking to Tarif and Nerf through the latter was pretty tight-lipped early on. The conversations were all over the place in terms of topic, though he often tried to steer the conversation to answer the questions he had about where he was. The stranger in the woods had called this world Echion. Echion. I'm going to go with Echion. And now he knew he was in a town named Tomaloda. Tomaloda. Oh, I remember the song. I kind of like Tomaloda. Okay, located at the edge of the principality called Hakaj. He said, I'm going to assume it's Haka. Don't pronounce the J. I'm not going to try to pronounce the J. Haka. Hakaj. I want to say Hakaj. I want to, but I don't. I don't want to. And I don't want to like mess it up, so I just want to play it safe and just say Haka. The mountains are large. Sorry, the mountains are wide. Sorry, distractions. The mountains only a few miles away were the official border between the principality and the 7 mountain kingdoms. It spanned the whole range. The information was pretty vague, but it helped him get a better mental map of where he was. Haka. Let's go with Haka. Okay, Kwa. Yeah, I want to say Kwa. But there's no U, because if you have a U, you Kwa. Kwa. You have the Kwa sound, but it makes a K kind of sound, CK kind of sound. Haka spread wide from the southwest up to the east, and the 7 kingdoms took up a wide span starting from the northeast, the southwest to the east. 7 kingdoms took a wide span starting from the northeast down to the west. Beyond that, and he also has a map in case if that didn't give you a visual. Oh, this entire landmass. Wow. It's Haka. The one word I can't pronounce. Okay, so I have to also see. Here's the land Haka. And I don't know where they're at. Oh, hey, there's the is that the tundra? is that Frostbite's Discord? The Tundra? Discord server? The Tundra? Hey, is that my place? Just kidding. Okay, where are they? I can't pronounce words. Principality. No, okay. Tomaloda. Okay, Tomaloda. Tomaloda. Good. Where is it? Tomaloda, where are you? What are you? Is there anyone on? There's no one on. Okay. Tomaloda. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's like at the top near Jigsaw, Gorant, or Orsh is smaller. Okay, so Tomaloda is like at the very top here. Right there. Sorry if you can't see that. I can barely see it myself. Probably got a bad copy. Yay. Maybe you should start selling maps like for a poster. I would totally like put the poster somewhere in the on the random fandom desk area. I'll totally frame it. I would buy a frame. Well, anyways, where was he? Tomaloda. Beyond that, he didn't have much of a reference for other locations around the globe. There was a vaguely Asian-sounding country across the ocean with to the southwest called Apenzes. Is the T silent? Is it Tez? I'm gonna call it Apent or Apentez. No, you're not Apentez. Epitez. Or Epentez. Epentez. Which was a new trading partner that apparently had the whole principality excited. That was hearsay, though, since Tereth and the rest of Tomaloda were so far from the coast and were already out of the way as it was. If they were going to see any Apen goods, they'd be rare. Trade was more common with the kingdoms to the north. Nerf, Tereth's fellow farmer and literal dwarf, as it turns out, was from one of the 7 kingdoms that didn't border Haka. Help. Apparently, the mountain was filled with dwarven settlements, stalking men and women who preferred to carve out a burrow for a home rather than build one. This is starting to sound like Tolkien. This is starting to sound like The Hobbit. A little bit, just a little bit. Lord of the Rings. I wonder if I could visit Tomaloda. Okay. Filled with their succumbed burrow for a home, then build one. Nerth didn't quite match what he envisioned the typical dwarf to look like. What with his dark tanned skin and glossy, almost oily beard. But according to Tereth, the dwarves to the north were sandstone dwarves that worked in the deserts beyond the mountain range. Tereth himself was what Tereth himself was what was called a sombrant, something he learned only after very carefully navigating a conversation with Neath while he was drunk, which was a rather taxing process considering how counterintuitively glide the dwarf counterintuitively glide the dwarf could be while sipping spirits. According to Nair, the sombrants were fairly common in Ichion, or at least in Hakka, and they had some kind of magical attunement with shadows. It was hard to get a clear answer out of the dwarf when he was imberated. Okay, I'm gonna go to Google this word. Imberated. Imberated. And oh, the drunken intoxicated. Inebriated. 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 Huh. Inebriated. Huh, that's a big word. Tomaloda. Inebriated. Or it was. And he was afraid that pushing more would have led to uncomfortable questions coming back his way. So he didn't really understand what having a magical attunement with shadows meant, or how its heredity worked. But far be it for him to say that that was weird. He worked. He had a magical tattoo welded to his arm, so an entire species being born with magic wasn't too outlandish at this point. Okay. I'll get to a stopping point soon, but let's see, what time is it? It's 9. I can go for a little bit longer. The conversation certainly started painting a picture of what magic was like in Ichion, and frankly, if an entire species could be born with magic, then anything could fly, both figuratively and literally. From what little he could get out of Neath, magic was, well, not quite an everyday utility on Ichion. But it was definitely present enough that people would only blink once or twice after coming across it in their average day. It was strange, but not completely foreign. It would have been nice to have that conversation. Hey! How's magic? It's just a minor complaint. It would be nice to get a more of a feel of this character. If you just had more conversations with this character. I'm just saying, this is my opinion. My opinion. So respect me. Oh, this pizza is getting a bit cold. So I'll be right back. Starscream here is going to talk about Tom Malota and Tom Malota's culture. Tom Malota. Tom Malota. I don't know if you can hear the microwave or not, but I have one that's nearby. Not too nearby. Not in this room. It's just it's in the different room. It's in the room nearby. Anyways, but it's loud. So oh well. But hey, what keeps me in here is reading for eternity, eating cooked meals by the microwavable meals, just eating constantly, drinking, just sitting here on this red couch, sleeping on this couch, reading, live streaming, wake up, live stream, eat, no brushing there, no hair, no haircuts. I like this little pose that Starscream has here. Let's put him a little bit closer. Anyways, I hope you learned a lot about the culture of Tom Malota from Starscream. Yeah, he's been there, okay? he met Dr. Jekyll when he was younger. He didn't meet Mr. Hyde because Mr. Hyde was not with Dr. Jekyll when he was younger. Anyways. And then he went to Tom Malota on Itchem. And he's like, yeah, this is a nice, neat place, but like not for me. There we go. Tom Malota. Okay, sorry. I don't know. I do that weird. Yeah. In Tom, yeah. Tom Malota? I like to say Tom Malota. Because like if every time you read the word, is it Tom Malota or Tome Loda? Tome Loda. For some reason I like even if it's Tome Loda, but or Tom Aloda. If it's Tom Aloda, it's nice. If it's Tome Loda, it's still nice, but like then I'm pronouncing it wrong and I feel bad. And I'm probably butchering all of these outlandish names. I've been butchering everything in this book. but even if it's Tom Aloda, there's no A. So why am I pronouncing it? So I'm going to pronounce Tom Aloda. Tom Aloda. Tom Aloda. A town that's dedicated to Tom. Okay. I think he's the T in Frostbite. But in Tom Aloda Tom Aloda alone, there were Tom Aloda alone, there were 2 different wizards that saw to the occasional job around town, like revitalizing dying crops, reinforcing fencing, and fending off some of the more dangerous local wildlife. Tara was shocked he had survived all that. Tara was shocked he had survived all night out in the woods, which was well earned. He was shocked, too, after learning Hakka's native mountain lion could also spit out its unique brand of stomach acid almost half a football field away. They owned that crossbow for I keep wanting to say for a good reason, but right here it's just for good reason. Of course, he was in charge. And they owned that crossbow for good reason. I'm going to say it right this once. Of course, he was in charge of upkeeping that crossbow, as well as several other items on the farmstead. Sometimes they didn't work out as well as he hoped. Early on, he had discovered that while he could technically make things using the raw parts on hand, age, wear, and damage shaved away just enough to make them more brittle or less stable for everyday use. So he occasionally had to head into town for supplies, material that bolster his ability to repair refurbish. Oh no, I couldn't say that word. Refurbish the tools around the farm. What he thought of as a hamlet was actually just a small grove of about 3 neighboring farms. Tomalota, proper was beyond a smattering of trees, and it was a little more sprawling. Probably a town of 150 to 200. It was a quaint village filled mostly with sombrants and dwarves, though the odd human stuck out, as did the rare elf with their smothered features and finely pointed ears. We're gonna pause right there. Let's see. Well, this is an important. Okay, odd announcement. What about this one? What about this announcement? Okay, now that's this discussion. What's over here? Accumulation. Okay, they're alive. Okay, that's interesting. But not Tomaluda, so we're not gonna participate in that. Oh, okay, we're having a deep conversation about this. Okay, sorry about that. Just Tundra discourse and another server discourse that happened at the same time, so we got pinged for them both, which is coincidental that both pings happened at the same time. Different things. One of them was an announcement for a live stream, but I'm live streaming, so we're not in that part. We're not in that part of the country. we're not in that territory of YouTube. And another announcement was a ban on a conversation. I was like, okay, I don't even know what that topic is or anything, so whatever. Different server, different mess. In different live stream, different mess. But, well, who cares? I'm chilling. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything is satisfactory. What a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine in the morning. Zippity. Whatever. All is well. Oh, my legs. Oh, stretching them out. Yes. Those! They were just as standoffish as he remembered from most games he played, but the rest of the townsfolk were very nice. Like the sombrent general store shopkeeper, Raquel, Raul, like Raul, Raul, Cal, oh, Raquel, 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 Raquel. Hey, every time I come up with something I can't pronounce, I'll just continuously say that word. Ow, it's just itchy. Okay. I don't know why it is on, but it's on, so whatever. Download her. Wakalo, who supplied most of the materials he needed to service the farm. He'd tell Tariff that he needed, or thought he needed, figuring out what the power required could occasionally be hit or miss. Then he'd be sent out with a list and a handful of coins with denominations. Okay, there's also another notification. Okay, it's just a friend. And denominations. Okay. Tomaloda, whatever. Geno, man, na, denomination. Denomination. I feel stupid. I've said that word before. Denomination. How do I not know how it's spelled or pronounced? Denomination. Duh. I don't deserve to have my hair. cut. You and they deserve it. Denominations that broke down in the weirdest ways. 12 attentions to a Yale. Dang that. Why are you giving me big small words with your words that don't exist? Intentions? What is this word? 12 intents to a Yale. It's not here in the definition. Google intingents. 12 igtents. Igtents. What is it? Igtents. What are you having me say here? What is your problem, man? What is your problem? You igtents. Broke down to the weirdest way. 12 igtents to a yavel. 3 yavel to a synonym. Synonym. 7 synonym to a chalice. Okay, a chalice is a thing. Absolutely ludicrous by his measure. But money was money. For whatever this is, the currency. Usually he wouldn't have enough to buy anything beyond what he was. He wouldn't have enough to buy anything beyond what he was sent for. And he was supposed it was impressive how well Tereth and Neir rationed their money. Taxes and Tomaloda allegedly weren't as intensive as they were elsewhere in Hakka, but the killer came from the country's merchant guild. What time is it? I'll stop at 9:30 because there's other things for me to do, or other things I just yeah. There's other things to do other than live stream. Eat, sleep, and die. Or maybe I won't stop at 9:30. It depends. It depends on what happens. I don't want to go on too long with my live stream, so. Participation was mandatory for most professions that dealt in goods. Membership fees could spike from month to month. Membership fees could spike from month to month. And they set the price of all the goods in the principality, making them an exercise in frustration to work with. Typically, the price setting evened out with the fees, but it left the farmers and himself by extension in a bind financially. Saving in preparation for tax or fee hikes was like fee hikes was a necessity, and that meant few if any luxuries. Gosh damn it. So after his work was done, he was left to his own devices and doing not much of anything. He did enjoy lingering in the town's only bookstore, run by Raul Rocolo's sister Rocolo's sister Sophie. It's my best guess. But being unable to buy anything always guilted him right back out of the door after only a few minutes. He was never much of a reader in his past life, but he was quickly finding it to be his only option for filling his days of boredom, especially because it was the only place he could learn more about the world outside of Tamaloda Naka. There was an old almanac from a country called Brucia, located near the Lindworm Eye to the northeast to the northeast that kept catching his attention, but his pockets were never filled with enough cash to buy it. Not that the cash would have been his in the first place. Spending Terraforneth's money wasn't something he wanted to do without permission, which is why he begged them to let him buy it. Both stood firm, and even leaning on Nerf's almost transparent crush. Nerf's transparent. Failed to yield even an ounce of consideration. The man had literally moved to Tom Iloda to pursue her. Such a play should have been foolproof, and it crashed harder than a helicopter in a horror game. Well, at least he has knowledge of what a horror game is. That would be a horror game in itself. Why a horror game? This is a dating sim. Where am I? Let's see, what time is it? It's getting close to. Okay, let's make time. It crashed harder than a helicopter in a horror game. That's a reference. I know you. Raymond McNeil. I know. I don't know you, but I know you enough to know that has to be a reference. But which horror game? I have to know. I will watch playthroughs of different Resident Evil games to figure out which horror game has a helicopter crash that you decided to reference. I know there's like a lot of like horror movies and a lot of horror video games that probably have a lot of helicopter crashes. But there has to be a specific horror game. Then I know that there has to be a specific horror game, probably a Resident Evil franchise, that has a helicopter crash in it. That'd be funny if every that's probably unless there's something I don't know about the Resident Evil franchise. Is there like a helicopter crashing in every uh, Resident Evil or video game? Because that would be funny if that's what the reference is. That has to be a reference to like I don't know because like there's like because like in non-horror games there are helicopter crashes or the close enough helicopter crashing, whether it be the player shooting it down or a scripted event. I'm gonna assume it's a scripted event of a helicopter crashing and it's not the player's fault. Um, Helicopter. I'm gonna research that. Helicopter is important. It's important to the series. First Kai and now helicopter. Just kidding. Now that would be funny if Kai comes into the Artificer with a helicopter. Damn it, Kai in the helicopter. Now, okay, so he does remember things. Unless this is the author's fault. Because there are things where I've been told by this man that you don't describe things. You don't use things at the scripters. The problem is this is written in third person and not in the perspective of the character that we're reading about. It's just not the blank slate character. This is so like is this his memory? Is this his memory of the helicopter? Not his memory. Is this his thoughts of the helicopter? Because like what's the limitation of like what's like the limitation of the like it says he doesn't remember like he doesn't remember his face or his family faces or his name, his friends' names, but like I don't remember. It says if he remembers much of his memories. Well, it says how far back could he remember. So he doesn't remember like his actual memories, but he has intelligence of the things that he knew about. So that's probably the limitation here. So that's the but he knows Kai. I'm confident on Kai will show up in this, if not in this book or in a sequel. Hopefully, there's a sequel. He did announce that there would be a sequel to the Artificer, I think in the recent live streams, like the Artificer. That sounds odd to say Artificer, like R2D2. I don't know. But yeah, he has teased that there will be a sequel to this book, so I'm gonna kind of just hurry up. Oh, how much time? Okay, 9:32. I'll keep reading. 9:35. Let's go with that. Or to a stopping point. Let me get to a stopping point. Let me try to stop talking too. A helicopter horror game, but this left him with an obvious conundrum. He needed money. Hell, all three of them needed money. There were nightly debates on how to increase profits from the farm, or scrimp, or save extra materials to make nicer living conditions. They even considered selling the magic water cup he had gotten from the faceless being in the woods. But that was scrapped pretty quickly. It was too invaluable as a resource at all, as a resource, uh, as a resource all its own. Yeah, you don't want to give up drinking water that has infinite amount. I mean, you could sell it for a high price. And then use that money to buy stuff that you need, but then at the same time, it has the resource, infinite water. Then one day, while repairing the fence on the south end of the property, an idea struck him. The idea just goes, ah, ah. It just hits him in the head out of nowhere. Oh, okay, that's not going down any further. Hold on, this is bothering me. Starting on there. Nope. There. Okay, that was an accidental putting his hand down to the side. There. If you can see it. I'll put him a little. I'll scoot over so he can scoot over. Well, let me take that off of the pedestal. There we go. There we go. Where was I? Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. An idea struck. For a week, he spent his free time scouring the town, using scraps of spare paper and makeshift pencil to record prices for equipment and labor through all the shops in Tomaloda. By night, after everything had closed, he had practiced more with his gift, trying out new combinations of thoughts and hand gestures to see if he could squeeze out more information out of it. And eventually, he did just that. Ingredients. He had recipes and ingredients categorized from the most common to the most rare, listed by measured amounts, be it metric, imperial, or Saldave? Saldave. The standardized system across Hakka. He made lists of what items could be easily constructed out of simple wood and what would need more extensive materials to construct. Finally, armed with what he needed, he made his move. Bright and early one morning, he found himself behind a thin wooden stall. Crafts and wares, painted in a neat red lettering across the top. Excellent work from Neef, Neef and his steady hand. He'd run up a bit of a debt. He'd run up a bit of debt with Terf and Neef over it. Unfortunately, since they footed the bill for most of the starting supplies and the permit from the town to set up the new market. But he was so confident he could make that back threefold in a day once he got the ball rolling. Where's the conversation for this? Another conversation that does not exist, but I would like to see. Some sort of conversation, please. Bring me back to the dialogue. Oh, that's the next page. We'll get to a we're just stopping. Really? You know what? You know what? You know what? Hold on. What time is it? You know what? You know what? It's past the time I said I'll close this, which is 9:38. Oh, 9:35, but it's now 9:38. We'll get to the stopping point and then cut off. There's a stopping point on the next page. Where is it? Once you go, of course, once you get the ball rolling. It's a small ball, but it's the ball that's rolling. Of course, getting the ball rolling was the hard part. The first sales at his rudimentary stand were minuscule. Now near the cost of starting up the kiosk, a few figurines, some nice ornaments, spare clothesline, but with each sale he made mention of custom work and requests, and was sure to allude he was eager to deliver quality work at a relative pittance. Surprisingly enough, his first serious customer was one of the town's wizards. Ooh, yeah, they need a wizard. Dorias. 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 I'm going to assume that's Dorias. Or Dorias. 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 A human with a hawkish nose. So, like, the nose that everyone relates to. Oh, but I don't know. It's very hawk looking nose. And the hawkish nose and ratty hair was apparently an amateur bard of sorts who enjoyed spending his free time fiddling from his hilltop home. Unfortunately, a rather nasty spell ended up with his violin smashed through a keg. Smashed through a keg of wine. There were no easy ways to repair it in the town, and when even Dwarf's magic wasn't enough to mend it, desperation set in. There were suspicions that the keg wasn't quite full when this happened, but it wasn't his place to judge his first commissioning customer. At first, he had been concerned he'd have to gut some sheep or create steel on a limited budget. But Doraz solved that problem providing spare strings that could expedite. I'm assuming that's expedite. The word. Let's Google is your friend. Ugh. This word does not exist. No, expedite does. Expedite. Use the word expedite. X P. Oh, well, that's exactly how I thought it would be the definition of expedite. Expedite. I was right. Yeah, bingo. Whatever. Bingo is his name. L-B-I-N-G. B-I-N-G-O. Expedite. Expedite the work. The price for the repair was something he had to meditate on, and ultimately he settled on something like 12 sinim. Sin. I can't pronounce this word. It does not exist. If it's not in our records, it does not exist. The price for the repair was something he had to meditate on, and ultimately he settled on something like 12 snem and 2 yavel. A costly sum, but an understandable one for such a custom job. He even knocked it down to 11 snem, 1 yavel, and 7 tenths if Doris would owe him a magical favor. With the price agreed upon, Doris left and the day continued as normal. The repair itself dawned back in the solitude and privacy of the farmhouse. It was only slightly more difficult than anticipated. Well, it took a while to find a plank of wood high enough quality for such a fine instrument, but eventually he tracked one down in the house that would suffice. After all, the body repairs just needed a few shavings to fill in the missing splinters. Mm. Mm. That sounds amazing. Oh, let me one minute. Mouth. Sandy work was, I thought the fact was not as clean as probably used to look considering the original coat with the gloss. Didn't match. He mined his handiwork after the fact. It was not as clean as he probably used to look considering the original coat of the gloss didn't match the gloss that his power had layered over the new wood. But from what he could tell, it was still played. For what he could tell, it still played just fine. So the next day, Doris came to retrieve the violin, and was ecstatic at the repair, lavishing praise that left the air between them more and a little awkward. "Come, my man, you have done a wondrous job." I don't know how he would sound, so I'm going to assume here that that's Doris is a name character. Fine, I'll give him a unique voice. "Come, my man, you have done a wondrous job. Allow me another 2 yavel to your pocket." "I couldn't," he said, waving the man off. "It was no problem, and you've more. It was no problem, and you've more than paid me enough. She's a real beauty to work on." "Ah, that she is, and that she is. That she is. That she is." The man sighed. "Well, if I cannot pay you more, I must know your name. I shall raise it to Maviater before bed to bless your work, Maviater. I'm just a humble craftsman, sir. No need to go out of your way just for me. Just a profession, or is that your family's lineage?" What? What? The wizard stared at him. "Craftsman? Just a trade or your family's name?" "Craftsman? Just your name or your family's name?" Just a trade or your family's name?" He gave it a ponder. "Yeah, isn't that how people used to get their names, like butcher or carpenter?" All this time he'd been wondering without a name. called farmhand or friend or best or the called farmhand or friend at best or stranger and foreigner at worst, but never having something of his own name-wise. Just name yourself a name. Letting go of the weight of the tip of his tongue felt almost sacrilegious. I almost did not read that. I almost did not pronounce that. Sacrilegious, like it was discarding the last of his old identity. Bye-bye. But it also lingered like a specter, preventing him from taking something more permanent. Like one day he simply expected to wake up back on Earth with all his memories intact. Don't do that. Don't tease that. Don't tease that. Like one day, that's just probably not gonna happen. So, like one day he simply expected to wake up back on Earth with all of his memories intact. Maybe it was time to let go. Yeah, he finally replied. Family name. That's all I really know. I don't have a name of my own. Well, the older man crooned. Own that one, because, my boy, you have a knack for this. Thank you. No, my boy, it is I who think you, the man said, turning to leave. Come see me when you want to redeem that favor. I shall serenade you. Serenade? Serenade? Serenade. Serenade. Serenade? 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 Serenade. I was close, very close, quite so. Serenade. I shall serenade you with these beautiful strings. Right, I'll see you then. Craftsman. He had a name again. Craftsman. Craft. His name was Craft. Hey, that's a stopping point. His name was Craft. That'd be funny if this entire name, his last name was Craftsman. Hey, Craftsman. Like his name was actually like Artificer Craftsman. or no, his name was like Craft. His name was like Craft Artificer. Or some of those silly lines of whatever. Okay. Oh. So, that's an interesting story. That was an interesting. That was just interesting. That was just was. I liked it. It's neat. I don't. Yeah, Craft. His name's Craft now. I like it. It's very crafty. Little salted tongue and all that other jazz and snazz and Batman and all that other stuff and whatever. I don't know. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of today's or tonight's live stream. We're gonna pause right there. I wonder how many more pages of chapter 2. Just a few more pages. But soon he'll get into an adventure or some sort of adventure. But yeah, so hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Comment down below if you like this live stream or whatever. Dislike this video if you dislike this live stream. This live stream. This is not what it is a video about. Well, after it's dead, it's going to be dead. After once it's dead, it's going to be just a video. So yeah, like this video, whatever. Subscribe, dislike, like, comment down below. Subscribe, like, dislike, comment down below, share with your friends and your family, and don't forget Tamaloda, Tamaloda, da 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 da. I'm having fun doing that thing because I'm bored. Tell your friends, share it with your friends. Like, comment, subscribe. Is there anything else? Ring the bell for notifications. Notifications. Yay. Don't forget to get your hair cut. This light is whatever. Don't forget your haircut. You all need your haircuts. Even if you've already gotten a haircut, get a haircut again. I'll get one eventually, hopefully. So, yeah. I am not shouting. You're just not listening loud enough, quiet enough, or whatever. You're not listening quiet enough. Anyways, see you all soon in the next video. I'll cover him in the next video. Starscream. It's about time. No, this is not the other Starscream, the Siege one. This is this version. This is the Coronation Starscream. I'll cover him in the next video. But until then, see you all soon. Bye-bye. Oh, one other thing. Dominic will eventually do his live stream of the Legos and all that other jazz. But until then, see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Shaking my hand really violently.